Inner Voice, a heartfelt chat with Dr. Foujan.
Break free from the forces holding you back. Get the life you deserve. Eliminate stress, reduce anxiety, decrease depression, and start living your full potential. Thousands have used Dr. Foujan Zane's awareness integration theory, an evidence-based behavioral health breakthrough with incredible life-changing results. Getting rid of past trauma, having fulfilling relationships, increasing earnings, and living their best life. Now, the Foujan app is available to everyone. The app is Dr. Foujan Zane's awareness integration theory in the palm of your hand. Download the Foujan app today.
Do you wish to wake up one day and hit the Life Reset button? Life Reset, the awareness integration path to create the life you want by Dr. Foujan Zane, helps you navigate crucial life areas, heal the past traumas, and cultivate fulfilling relationships and careers. Life Reset is your guide to a profound journey to reshape your life. Grab your copy on Amazon or Audible now and embark on a path to a more joyous and fulfilled life.
Hello, welcome to the Inner Voice, a heartfelt chat with Dr. Foujan podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Foujan Zane, a psychotherapist and author and the creator of the Awareness Integration Theory. I am thrilled to have you join us today for what I promise to be an insightful discussion. In this episode, I chat with Sharon Seibert. She is a visionary leader on a mission to transform business executives into powerful, effective managers who are supremely confident from inside out. As the founder of Core Coaching Consulting and an impressive international team by her side, Sharon has guided countless business leaders and owners worldwide through the most challenging terrain, enabling them to effortlessly achieve their highest goals. Sharon is the inventor of the groundbreaking superpower of balanced leadership approach. It's a holistic and pragmatic strategy that can rewrite the success playbook for leaders, teams, and companies. With a wealth of experience as a former CEO and the founder of the group health plan that set an industry record for earliest break-even, Sharon brings decades of pragmatic business expertise to her collaborations with business owners and leaders. She is the author of the 5-book Superpower of Balance series and her latest book, The Superpower of Balanced Leadership in Unbalanced Time, which we're going to be talking about today, is a must read. We shared a lot of conversations about how to experience your power within, how to be in your power, how to act, how to implement from it, how to integrate all of that into your system. So I'm sure that you have great listening and taking a lot from it as much as I did. Now you can join Sharon on her journey to transformation and success at corecoachingconsulting.com or connect with her at her LinkedIn. And you can also learn about her nonprofit organization, corelearningservice.org. And she also works with the youth and brings her program to the youth, not only to the corporations and leaders, but also to the youth. And it's like brings a balancing act program for teachers and youth in many parts of the globe. So go check her out. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast, my YouTube channel, and connect with me through my website, and go check out my app, Foujan. You can connect with me at foujanzane.com or any of my social media platforms. Share your thoughts with me. I love to hear from you. I do. I promise you. Just share your thoughts with me. Tell me what you want to hear. What are some of the topics or people that you love to hear from this podcast? Connect me with whomever you think I should be talking to. All right. So now, without further ado, here's Sharon Seibert.
Intentional Parenting, a practical guide to awareness integration theory, written by Dr. Jafari, Dr. Foujan Zane, and Dr. Manoukian, 3 experts in human development, is your step-by-step guide to raising a healthy child prepared for a culturally integrated world. You're supported in parenting infants to adolescents using the latest evidence-based scientific research on parenting. Order your copy on Amazon now.
Eliminate stress, reduce anxiety, and decrease depression. Dr. Fujan Zane's awareness integration theory has helped thousands like you get incredible life-changing results. The Fujan app gives you her evidence-based treatment in the palm of your hand. Download today.
I am so excited to have you, Sharon Seibert, with me. Thank you for joining us.
And thank you for inviting me. I'm so excited to talk about how our work complements each other.
Absolutely. Your latest book, The Superpower of Balanced Leadership, is in Unbalanced Times. And it's 6 powers that makes you the kind of leader people fearlessly follow through good times and bad times. That is so important. Share a little bit about why what got you into wanting to write this book. You've been a leader for many companies. You've been kind of like a trailblazer on many different layers, and you've written other books, 5 series books. But there's something that you decided to write this book for.
I have been wanting to write this book for such a long time. I grew up very early into politics, and I got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly in politics, which we're seeing today, right? So I have thought for a long time from my own experience what makes a great leader. Why do people fearlessly follow someone? And other people, they're saying, I don't think so. We're not going there, right? So over time, and over actually a great deal of time, I started to see what made, in my opinion, a great leader. And I talk about these 6 powers. And when people, it's a holistic approach. It's very much an integrated kind of approach like you'd work with. So these 6 powers are available to all of us, individuals who just want to lead a better life, all of those who are yearning to do more than we are currently doing. We know there's more for us. So you, as you stand in the hub of your power, wherever you are in your life, can take a leadership role like this with your family, with your community, in the workplace, no matter what your title is, and then make everything around you better. So I talk about that as being the hub of your power. And if yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Before you go further, because I do think that people have an already listening or already a defined concept about what a leader is. Like sometimes they think, okay, it has to be a leader of the company or a leader of a political power or a leader of something. And you beautifully were sharing that wherever you are, you can be living your leadership. It's not that you all have to be in this position that somebody gave you the title, and the salary for it and said, this is what you need to do. And then you have to come up with, I'm a leader and then I have to find a follower. No, it means that you can live your leadership. So can you first kind of unpack that so then we can go to then the 6 steps?
Yes. It's so important. We are the heroes we've been waiting for. I don't know who to attribute that to, but I remember someone very famous said, you are the leader that you've been waiting for. And that's the sort of, in some ways, the essence of all my work. No matter where you stand, you are at the center of your power. And when people get that, it's riveting. It's like they have the freedom. They do not have to wait for someone to go along and go, you get to be vice president and you get to be director and you get to be, no, wherever you are. And I first really got this when I was teaching a group of scientists at the National Institute of Health here. It was in the Washington, D.C. area. And I was explaining this principle. So this is the power of the magician archetype. So power comes from inside. It's not the power of the ruler archetype, which is you are the designated king, the heir apparent, the queen of the throne. So you have this power inside you. And as I was talking about it, with all of these people in this heavy, heavy, heavy bureaucracy, I said, you can actually just go out there and do things, and people probably aren't going to stop you. Everyone's waiting for somebody to do something. So if you're waiting for the hierarchy to get around to this, time has gone by, you're in retirement party now. So I had a woman, a physician who left the room, And she went out to a meeting and then she came back all excited because she said, I tried it. I tried it and it really works. I just said, let's do this. And everyone was all excited because everyone was waiting for someone else to take the lead. So once you get that just like, oh, the magician or the Native American healer standing where they are and drawing the circle of power around them, that could be your life.
Beautiful. You talk about being the first power, right? There
Yes.
is a way of being that holds that power, right? To develop a strong moral compass to
Bingo.
navigate constant change. So can you share a little bit about what you mean by being?
Yeah. If you think about gravity, that's what holds you onto the earth. If you have a center of gravity inside you, which is your moral compass, the things you believe in, what's important to you, then as you make decisions, that's your constant reference point. The alchemists talk about that as like being the touchstone, that you would touch that and then you would know what to do. That would turn to gold. So your decisions come from that quiet place inside you where your intuition speaks, where the angels speak to you, where you are quiet enough to hear what's the best thing to do. Most of us are going zing, 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 zing. And then we wake up in the middle of the night with insights because we were too busy during the day to hear ourselves think and speak to ourselves. So that still small voice.
You said this, it was so interesting. I just want to share this with you. And
Oh, great.
I was in Portugal presenting. I presented two conference, one presentation and one kind of workshop right back to back at the same day.
Congratulations. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, amazing powerhouses of psychology, neurology, from 137 I'm sorry, from 37 countries came together.
Beautiful. And this, by the way, is our future. When we all come together like this is where we are making such great strides together. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sharon, I was, doing my thing and I thought it was awesome and this and that. And the room is flat. And, I'm doing my best. And then at the end, everybody's sharing. They're like, okay, thank you. Kind of moves you along. So I'm sitting there going, huh?
Yeah.
How was I doing? Right? So I just kind of like sat with that and all of that. This morning, between sleeping and waking up, right on that edge of, you're kind of like waking up and kind of going back to sleep. This came from me like, Fudan, people are looking, you want to give them a watch. And they're thinking about, how can I wear the watch? Would it match my stuff? Would it match my lifestyle status and this? And you're trying to teach them within 45 minutes all the mechanics, as if like you were a Swiss watcher and you were teaching them all how to make a watch. They're not interested. Like, you're not connecting with people. And that's what that, and then it showed me in that moment is like, no, you need to connect to the people, to their. And I've done this a lot, right? I've been teaching for such a long time, but that morning I was so much into, I got to give them everything I know. I want to put it in a capsule and like force feed this to them because I want them to have everything. Didn't work.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Just wanted to share that as it showed up for me when you were talking about being, and where is it that you can hold your power, but also be connected to people that are around.
People want a piece of that. They want a piece of someone who is sitting there and being in that quiet spot. We are desperate for that because we're so frantic and we're so agitated. So it's sort of like, can I stand by you? You're quiet, cool, and you make me feel better. So that's what we want to bring to the table. And I always know what kind of a state I'm in. I joke about it, but it's actually true. Is that I know what kind of state I'm in because when I go outside, I can walk here on the beach. And when I'm in a good state, the children smile at me and the dogs come up and they drool all over me. And when I'm in a bad state, the opposite happens. So that's my barometer. I can see that. And
Yes.
that in between time that you allowed yourself is when, in mythology, that the great beings walk the earth with us. So those are the ones saying, oh, by the way, might have been better, if you had done that. But that being is cool, calm, collected, at peace. Sometimes it's just you feel so happy to be alive. And that's it. That's all it is in the moment. And from there comes great wisdom, because we have shut up long enough to hear it.
Yeah, I love what you said. Mine had to be shutting off all the way sleep before I could.
Yeah,
You're-
well, we often need that. And that's sometimes why people have such bad sleep, because they have not allowed things to get the information during the day. So, tapping on your shoulder to make sure you get that done happens in the middle of the night.
Yes. Another conversation that you're having is learning. Reframe learning as a way to overcome the challenges of constant, right?
Yeah, right. So with learning, we want, if we're talking about organizations or if we're talking about you just leading your life, we want the learning aspect to follow the being, because the being anchors you in what's important to you to learn. And then you bring the learning back and it reinforces what you're being. So the key thing about the mythology I talk about, this elegantly simple 6 powers or 6 steps, is that everything is connected. So when you learn, the feedback loop goes into your being and all the steps that go forward, okay? So we want you to look at your mindset and see if it's serving you and serving the person you are and want to be in the world. We want you to challenge everything you were taught. And have a mindset. A friend of mine talks about, we want you to have a healthy mental diet. And that's such a challenge these days, don't you think? I mean, if you want people to be aware, but there's like, bing, 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 it's just, we live in these, active radiation news cycles and stuff. It's hard to sort through what is helpful learning, functional, lifting you up, helping you evolve. That's the learning we want.
Well, a lot of learning, as you know, right now, it becomes in 1 minute, less than 1 minute clips from TikTok and Instagram. And that has some source of learning a lot of times. Like if you give it too much, then people are not even interested, because we've created this culture of give it to me as a source of entertainment, give it to me as it's going to catch my eye right away and don't bore me. And if it's done in any other way, not interested, swipe, 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 go to the next. What do you think about that? How can you share where we could, is this a type of learning, or how to choose the type of learning even within that? Or are there other ways that we could also learn?
Well, the first thing people have to do if they're wanting to learn is to take a friggin' breath, okay? And sit down and shut up and be quiet internally. Yes, and you breathe into it, and then you have more capacity to take things in. Stress makes us stupid, and a lot of what we are seeing in these micro bits of quote learning quote is stressful. It adds to our stress. It makes our synapses just short out. So to actually sit down, read a book, actually do those things, I think we, are evolving into a place where there's different time frames for learning. But we can't forget the older style of learning where we actually absorb something, reflected on it, saw how it dealt with our life, integrated into practice. You don't do that in a 60-second TikTok or Instagram. You just don't do it that fast. So our process is all about eventually integrating, which is why it is so compatible with what you have. You learn in order to do something with it. There are people who say that you can only call it learning if you use it to adapt. If you actually put it into practice and you actually make a change, that's the only thing you can define as learning. That's the other extreme of what we're seeing out there, as opposed to fast, rapid fire entertainment.
I agree actually that if you're just picking up the stuff on, and you go to the next, actually your memory doesn't even hold them because
Memory doesn't hold it. No, the memory doesn't hold it. And then you can't integrate it. You can't take it in. You can't do something with it. And we are
Right.
all about doing something with it.
Right. So it's more like, how do you get the information? How do you practice it? How do you act it so that it can actually, you can learn something within the experience? And that's
Right.
one of the power number 3 that you share, acting. Like decisive, test the ideas, improve them, and make them real for you. That's when that whole concept of learning not only goes into your system, not only integrates into your whole system, but it integrates into different areas of your life. As
Yes.
talking awareness integration, that you constantly all day dealing in a relationship with all areas of your life. So sometimes you can learn something in one area and not, kind of bridge it to other areas. And if you do put it in practice, then you can also see how you could take any of these learning and put them into practice within the different areas that you're leading.
Yes.
That at the beginning, you lead in your family, you lead at work, you lead in community, anywhere, you lead with your body. Whatever you do, you can bring that into it.
Right. And of course, if you're moving too fast, you don't see those links. You don't see the richness that you have if you take this also over here. When I was first doing this work, I have a colleague in Holland, Auke van Keulen, and he did this work for a group of leaders. And I got a lovely note afterwards. It was so beautiful. It was one of my first, fan letters from this work. And and he said, Auke said that I could write to you, and I just wanted to say I knew when I took this leadership course that I would become a better leader. What I didn't know is I would become a better father. And this has saved my relationship with my son, who is just going off to college.
Beautiful.
Isn't it? So there is the settling in of the knowledge, and it settles in, and then you see, oh, it also works there. And that needs to have that settling in reflection part, and then into action over here and action over there.
You talk about serving and creating caring and inclusive workplace communities and giving, of yourself. It all being a transactional concept. Can you share a little bit about that?
So the fourth step in our process, we go to being, to learning, to doing or acting, and then to this interconnecting, this serving piece. When we want to see who in your community, who in the world needs these gifts that you have, and who is going to help you deliver them. So we now, at this point, you are reaching out for interactions of people who will bring your work into the world. It's like you and I speaking today. We have these new connections, and we're going, oh, I love that about what you do, and I love that about what you do. And you form a community that brings this work out in the world and that makes the work more rich. Because every time someone touches this stuff that I do, their fingerprints are on it, and it's better. We keep getting it better. So the serving part is, you have to have something that's worthwhile to give, and then find the people who need this. And the people who will help you be your village to carry it out.
Right. And the village by itself, it takes its own kind of identity, because you take something, and if they do it and implement it, which is your power number 5, but if you implement it, it affects other people, and each person just implements it, and it gathers, it has like a boomerang effect. It keeps
Totally. Yeah.
the community to whatever it is that you're learning. So you talk about implementing, shaping your destiny with steady stewardship and healthy habits.
Yes.
When you bring that into action, and you systematically create a structure to do it, then you've created the healthy habits that moves you forward.
Right. And structure holds the other elements that came before it. It's sort of like, we know now whether we need a station wagon, a sports car, a bus in order to carry our product, the work we have, out into the world. And so, but most people, particularly in business, will start with the structure. and they have their sports car and don't realize they have 10 people that have to go in it. I mean, the structure is not really the best for what they have to bring out in the world. So that's why we do these things in that order. The structure will naturally appear that this is the best way to get this out, or here's another way to get this out, or try this. So you, for example, have so many avenues to get your word out. You have your app, and you have your, the blog, and you have the podcast that we're doing now, and you have the books you've written. These are all ways to carry your message out. These are all part of that earth element implementation piece, but it's of a fabric. It's very natural how these probably evolved, and you did one and then the next, right? So it's a natural growth that grew over time. And that's what we want for people, to have the right habits, the right vehicles to get their work out into the world.
And then the integration that you were talking about, allowing everything that you've learned, allowing your being and implementing and acting to become like this holistic way that not you heal yourself, but you are part of the group and the whole system, right? So it just kind of, as we were talking about, like boomerangs into a community that is with you. And
right.
You create unity, and that's how the leadership happens.
Right. Then the synergy piece, if you think about the steps we've talked about so far, the center, the 4 directions, which are the first 5 steps, and then the whole of the compass. Think of the compass. The whole of the compass is the synergy piece. And that's like divine connection. That is like your entire environment that you live in, the world systems, how the oceans and the sky and everything and the atmosphere and our planet all interact in ways we simply do not understand. So, but science is getting, some insights into how these positively or, create a positive cycle or create a negative cycle. So we want to be mindful that every one of these steps should leverage so that you have a more and more expanded sphere of influence, that your whole is holding you and you are evolving bigger and bigger into the world. So that's the synergy piece. And it's kind of the magic thing. It's when good luck happens or things are easy. That's when you know you're in synergy. It's all clicking together,
What you just shared, it brought this conversation for me, which is the 6th power that make you the kind of leader that people fearlessly follow, right? Why did you choose this sentence, fearless? My psychologist is coming up. Why did
do you want to answer that question for me?
No. I'm intrigued. I have the curiosity of knowing, because I know that this wasn't a random word you used.
Right.
You used it particularly because you wanted to give a particular message.
Right.
So why people fearlessly would follow someone, and what is the advantage of fearlessly following someone?
So fear is the toxic epidemic of our time.
Yeah.
So we make ourselves small. We don't try things. We give up early on. We're scared. We have a salary. We desperately do not want to lose it. We're afraid of what's going to happen if we step out of line. So fear is this poison that is in our workplace systems, in our world. So much is operating under fear. So if you're holding your center as a leader, remember, wherever you are, in your neighborhood, in your home, wherever you're holding your center, there's no fear there. If you really are inside yourself, it's this quiet place, and it is the antidote to the poison of fear. And if you have that, everyone around you sees it and wants it. So you start a virtuous, positive, blessed cycle of lifting other people up by just being calm yourself. No one wants to be on a ship where the captain's going, we're sinking, we're all dead, right? They want the person to be up there steering the ship, making sure that we don't sink. And then people can settle into their own cores if someone is holding that themselves. It's such an act of courage to do that, not just for yourself, but everyone around you. Remember, if you're in a frightening situation and you are being calm for the child who's near you, that's an act of great courage because you're calming everyone down. And then stress is not making you stupid, remember? So the assurance motto. So the odds of your getting out of the difficulty are exponentially higher.
There's such a beauty in what you're saying, and then yet there's such a dichotomy, because there's also this part of humanity that is looking for drama and dramatic
Yeah.
attention, right? So even, for example, when we were in the Portugal, I was witnessing like people who were coming and powerfully sharing and doing all of that. The attention that was going to them, it was a little bit different than the ones who were coming and they were a little bit dramatic, like they would have the anxiety and they would do this and they would go back and forth and stuff. And I know that there's a part of humanity that wants to take care of or care for, or, but then the fear that was there turning into a drama, and people were buying into a lot of the drama. And I was just watching, again, the psychology in me, I just watch and observe and look at, that's interesting. And then, you go into entertainment and, all of the work.
And entertainment news.
And entertainment news. You're looking at news and entertainment news and just entertainment. But the more that is dramatic and, it's based on fear and anger and rage and all of that, it gets more captured and it gets more attention. And you keep looking at even, it's not like a strong leader that, takes on and moves forward. If there's drama, if there's drama in a royal family, if there's drama in a presidential candidacy, if it's a drama in something, that everybody wants this drama to keep going. And I was looking at this paradoxical concept that, yes, I mean, if we're going to rely on somebody, like you said, the captain of the ship, we don't want a dramatic, we want somebody who's solid, who's moving forward. And then yet you can see that this paradoxical concept that happens with us as a human being, right? Like if you have a strong family role model that you go in and things are just smooth, then you see the teenager, which is, this is boring, I want some drama. And they'll go get into stuff to get bored, and they're bored, so they're going to go into drugs and do all of these things because things are going smooth. And then you have the other family where the mother and the father are grasping at anything to move forward. And then you have these kids who are coming up in order to take care of them and hold on and hold to the family system. Isn't that an amazing paradox?
Yeah, I think about it sometimes as evolutionary and anti-evolutionary forces. And there's such an addictive cycle that happens with the drama. And getting people disentangled from that, getting them out of enmeshed situations that they're so used to because they've been beat up for as long as they've been beat up. It's an amazing thing when they finally are able to step out of what they've only ever known. But one is a death spiral and the other is a life spiral. So the drama is entertaining and it makes you feel alive, but it's a little bit like jumping out of a frigging airplane without a chute. I mean, that's exciting, right? And this is not do well. You may be familiar with the power versus force work of Hawkins, and this is a great time to bring that concept in, particularly since I talk about the powers. So we want people to own their own power and be higher power. So shame is not a great power. We've got the envy, the humiliation, the anger, the rage, all those things drag us down. So the work that you and I do, and many of our colleagues, is to try to get people to higher levels of power that they are exercising themselves. So when I say that you're standing in the hub of your power, I'm talking about that evolutionary force where you are doing something remarkable with your life, where you're going to where you yearn to be, as opposed to this mishigas that the people go round and round in. And it's actually tragic. It's actually tragic. I mean, sometimes you can't get people out of it. They're just holding on to the lies, to the drama, to the excitement, to the, to the addiction, the abusive addiction. And my early days, I had we started a women's, shelter, and, getting people out of very, very toxic, dangerous situations was an issue that I learned very early on. It was not as easy as it logically seemed it should be. So the things that keep us stuck. So the work that you and your friends and your colleagues are doing is I feel an evolutionary impulse. And we invite as many people, I guess, who will come.
You said that, and I think I've experienced. I opened up two shelters in transitional housing. One in Northern California, one in Southern California.
Wow, good for you. Yeah.
For domestic violence, women who are going. And you're absolutely right. We created the housing for free, all furniture. We created the childcare. We trained in how to go and get a job. We worked through it so that they got a job and all of it. And the assumption was that if all of this is available, and we get offered psychotherapy, group therapy, all of it, and life skills. And the assumption was that if you carry out all of this and the person is doing this, and within time that they would move on and become independent. Well, we found out it took about 7 to almost 12 times before the person did no longer go back to the same situation, and they got there, they got detached from it, and they were able to actually move on. And sometimes people were not lucky with those 7 times that they went back. They got killed, they got injured, They got brain injury. And it was unfortunate, but exactly to what you say. I mean, I still think that NGOs need to do this. We have to have those available, but not have the expectation that it's going to be that easy. That, like you said, every single person is going to go through their own time in order to evolve and find their power within to be able to do that. But your book gives them the leeway, and that's the beauty, the superpower of let me show everybody the book, the people.
Oh, thank you. Yes, very good.
Yeah, The Superpower of Balanced Leadership in Unbalanced Time by Sharon Seibert. And 6 powers that make you the kind of leader people fearlessly follow through good times and bad.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that the statistic on heroin addiction, getting out of heroin, was like about 9 times to try before you make it. And what the caregivers' roles are is to keep them alive until they manage to get there. And same thing with, with battered women that I've dealt with a great deal. It is how do we, how do others of us stand by, offer, and not judge?
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's part of you were talking about, how when you hold your own inner power in that way, you don't negatively judge people. You see what's not working and support them to do that. Sharon, anything we haven't touched upon that you really want people to know?
Yeah, I would say that if you're feeling a yearning to evolve, to do more, get hold of resources, like ours. Take advantage. There's so much beautiful work that's emerging from around the world. All kinds of, social inventions, psychological inventions. Things are happening now at a fast pace to help anybody who is wanting to evolve. So take advantage of that, because there's more available to you than there has ever been in this lifetime. So find something that works for you and take a small step. And if that doesn't work, try something else and take another step, but continue to continue to stand as much as you can in your power and let that yearning lead you to a better place.
Beautifully said. Where can people find you?
Oh, people can find me on the corecoachingconsulting.com website. Also, we have this work for youth, which is core-learning-services.org. We want, the sooner we can start people out well and strong, the happier I am. So we have programs for youth. Or go to my LinkedIn, the Sharon Seibert in LinkedIn.com. And I have met the best people on LinkedIn, right?
Yes, we did. We meet on LinkedIn. Absolutely. It was a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much, and best of luck in your wonderful work. I'll be watching, we'll be tuned into each other, and I hope our paths cross soon in the future.
Absolutely. And for all of you who are out there, create an amazing life for yourself and everyone around you. And until next week, bye-bye. Are you a psychotherapist looking to enhance your practice? The Awareness Integration Therapy developed by Dr. Foujan Zain is a comprehensive guide to the principle and techniques of this powerful therapeutic approach. Join the growing community who have elevated their practice and expanded their skills by embracing Awareness Integration Therapy and witnessing its life-changing impact. Order your copy on Amazon now.